Letter number 8, from the inside of a smoothie. Weaponizing the tiniest memories into instruments of self-erasure. Socks did it today. Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. The battles with the ego are brutal. It's been a full-time job to keep the awareness of the ego. It's always worse, and it gets worse the longer there is no contact. The silence is a huge ego trigger for me. Part of it, I think, is the fact that you choose that. It's the choice of choosing to not connect with me in some way that awakens the ego, and from there, it can go any direction depending. I have been literally deploying every tool I have ever acquired, including prayer, mantra, affirmation, sound, meditation, drugs, therapy, dogs, friends, TV, cleaning, sweeping, or just sitting in it and crying, just to name the basics. And sometimes I'm able to diffuse it, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes the battle takes days, where I'm kind of in and out, and even in, I have control and awareness. Well, I always have awareness, even if I don't have control. When I lose control, I'm in pain. The level and context of the pain varies. Sometimes it's wounded pain. That one is bad. It's very psychological and manipulative in some ways. I manipulate myself into unworthiness. It's all my fault. I self-victimize. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why am I so unlovable? It's all about poor little me. That part of me is quite evil and vicious. She will use anything to get into my head. Anything. Nothing is off limits for her. She's completely despicable and will take any opportunity, however low and evil, to take over me. Then there's a soul pain, which is different. It's less bleeding emotionally, more of a void, which includes physical pain. There is some despair, but again, different despair than wounded. And then there is just plain hurt, like your actions and choices hurting my feelings because they don't align with my choices. And then there is something else entirely, altogether, that I don't know how to describe well. It triggers memories, things I don't normally think about, but it's because you're gone, because you choose to not include me in your life. Like socks, apples, Publix, ice cream, popsicles, dogs, TV, reading classes, going to the bathroom, brushing teeth, fading, going to sleep, coffee, cooking, candy, sun, moon, ocean, car, driving, clothes, pillows, blankets, yoga, music, food, everything that I have ever witnessed and deeply stored in my memory. These are not normal memories. I was so present in some of those moments. I have every single little detail, every piece of dust particle, every smell, and every underlying energy stored so vividly. Oh my God, and it brings me to my knees instantaneously. Socks did it today. Then I thought about how we bought them for ML. Then I thought about the picture you sent of the socks I gave you and Chachi, which immediately makes me jump to you not loving me, and it's a quick trip to no man's land. No, I can't comprehend you not loving me. Maybe I never will. Maybe I never accept the fact that you stopped loving me. I don't believe it's possible. I do not believe it's possible. Yes, you can choose to move it aside and shove it and choose to not feed it. But no, I don't believe it disappears. I don't believe it goes away. Maybe it does, or maybe I'm just built different. Maybe I love different. Maybe I cannot stop and you can. Or maybe you just think you can, but in higher context, reality, you cannot. Maybe your ego can stop, but not your soul. Only you don't seem to have access to your higher self. It feels like you lost all faith and hope into something bigger. It all seems so human, physical reality oriented, including the physical body problems and the ego emotions. You texted, every day you want to tell me something different, and you don't. You choose to not say anything. Why? Just say whatever you want to say if it's up. If you don't think about me, then don't. Or maybe you just don't want to put energy into that, like you said. You have more important things to sort out than me. Even though I happen to believe it's all connected, and cutting me out will only solve it short term. But again, maybe that's just my ego not wanting to accept reality in which I don't matter to you enough to be connected with me. Maybe it's something completely different. I can only guess, and it's fucking exhausting. And I can't even ask, because how do you even formulate a question like that? I can't. I don't have the ability, at least not yet, anyway. Maybe it will be easier to talk about how you don't want to be with me, even though I doubt that. Then I return to this. It's not about me. Your choices do not reflect in any way on what kind of person I am and have been recently. They reflect on who you are in the moment, the selfishness and unlovingness. It's not that I am unworthy of love or kindness. It's about you not wanting to extend it for whatever reason and underlying reasons and fears you have. It's not about me. It's about you and your sense of who you are and your choice of who you want to be. Unless you're not in charge, in which case it's your ego's choice, or your fear's choice, or your wounded self's choice. Whether it's an observed or unobserved, someone in there, some part of you is making it. And you can always choose again and again. In every moment you can choose again. You spoke about extreme ways of saving yourself. What if there is no saving yourself? What if there is only a new self? What if there is no saving, only evolving, transforming, rebirth? What if saving yourself is the one thing you actually cannot do? Also, when you say extreme ways, I'm thinking something radically different, not a version of what you have already been doing. How about some, I don't know, some sound healing, Reiki, ayahuasca ceremony, or some other plant-based therapy or ketamine therapy or some other energy healing that sounds a little extreme? Not saying you should or should not do any of that. Just thinking out loud when you say extreme ways. How about diving into every bad feeling, every pain that you have? How about talking about everything? How about going to therapy 3 times a week? Extreme? Maybe you being alone in a cabin is extreme also. It doesn't sound extreme to me. How about praying or meditation and actually meditating, sitting, breathing, eyes closed, sitting with whatever is? How about higher power? How about connecting to higher power? Asking your higher self, your spirit team, universe, God, for help, even if you don't believe it. It's extreme. It's help beyond 5 senses, beyond human self. You used to believe, and maybe you still do, or maybe you don't. Just like you used to love me. Even if you don't believe, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There is more context than what is available to us from the human vantage point. You said you're following your intuition. I would like to hear more about that. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Intuition is beyond 5 senses, it's energy. It contains vibration of the soul and the universe, which includes balance and harmony and love. It does not require wounded projections. Another day full of silence, more work to do, more observation, more ego battles. Why don't I just reach out? I can't. If you are choosing to not connect, that means you don't want to connect. I don't want to connect with energy that does not want to connect with me. At least that is what was communicated. That's where we settled. So no, I cannot connect even though I want to, because it's not a two-way connection. If it's welcomed, I don't know that. So it would have to be established first. Right now we have, well, better, you have established, because I was not included in the decision process and did not have a choice in the matter, that you need space for me, that you don't want to talk to me or be connected with me. That's what you established. So that's what I am working with. Unless and until that changes, which may or may not, there is no reason for me to feed into that energy. And that does not mean that I don't want to talk to you or help you or be with you or love you. No, it doesn't mean any of that. It just means there's no valid reason to direct my energy and vibration in that direction. I sure hope that changes one day because I miss you so much. But I don't miss being rejected, ignored, diminished, and all the other projections that have been flying around. Denial is strong. My denial is still strong. I still find myself in complete and utter disbelief about the fact that we are unable to talk about it. Maybe one day. Not today, though, because today is another day of silence. Next day. And another day today. Another day of silence. I don't know why it's so hard for me. The fact that you can't and won't or choose not to for whatever reason is killing me. It is the worst. It's killing me. I don't know how to help myself. I don't know why it's so hard. Yes, partially it's the ego, but it's not just that. There is way more to it than that, but I can't figure out what it is. I keep sitting with it, in it. There is so much pain and also so much confusion. Everyone's telling me that I'm grieving, but I don't think I am. I mean, some part of it may be related to grief in some way, but there is still something else, something more, something beyond regular human stuff and ego. I see the ego, I see it so clearly, and the pain that's connected to that, and the part that is missing you, and the other part that is also missing you in a very different way. And maybe I will never figure it out, and maybe you will never talk to me again, which just sounds completely insane and irrational and delusional. Of course you will talk to me again. But when, boo? When will you be able to talk to me and share everything you need to tell me and what you're going through and how you're fighting your own ego? Will I keep my sanity or will my ego kill me in the meantime? Only time will tell, I guess. Either way, it's brutal. It's beyond brutal. It's like I am in a blender being cut out into pieces, being chopped up and torn apart. Maybe I will become a delicious smoothie. Who knows? Or maybe I will evaporate into nothingness and disappear like steam coming out of hot coffee. I love you so, so much. I can't explain.